He is about to terraform Earth to create a new home for his race. He wants to make a business proposal to ensure a place for the clan in Krang's new world. The last time they met, he tried to kill him. And the next time they'll meet will be in an all-out war that they will both regret. Today, I will be talking about the Attack on Technodrome saga from the IDW comics. This story arc was published in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issues 41 to 44, of the current volume being published by IDW. It was written by Tom Waltz, with art by Corey Smith and Rhonda Pattison. The last time I talked about an IDW saga was for City Fall, when the Shredder used Kitsune's black magic to turn Leonardo into his Chonin and fight against his own family. After that event, the Turtles took some time off to recover in Northampton, until they were attacked by the Foot Clan again. It was during this time that Alopex finally turned to the good side, but the Turtles returned to the city and started planning a way to defeat the Foot Clan. However, they still had a crisis on standby. Thanks to their insider at the Technodrome, the Fugitoid, they had known for a while that Krang was trying to terraform the planet to create an appropriate atmosphere for the Utroms. This being a more pressing matter than the Foot Clan, Donatello doubled down on his efforts with the help of his friend Harold. Together, they created a teletransporter to travel to remote places, and sometimes even parallel dimensions. Harold had other inventions that became relevant to this story. The first one was Metalhead, a robot turtle that could be used for defense purposes. The other was a special suit that Angel started using to combat the Foot Clan. Becoming this universe's version of Nobody, she would later team up with Alopex. Meanwhile, Splinter promised old Hob that he would join him in his mutant army, and together with the Turtles, they started training to fight the Foot Clan. The Turtles had two competing crises, between the Technodrome and the Foot Clan. Still, one of these two would become more important, thanks to the situation I described at the beginning of this video. Shredder sat down to talk business with General Krang, and told him how humanity would never take on an alien as its leader. Humanity would eventually fight back against his power. But if he allied with the Foot Clan, they would be able to offer humanity a leadership they'd respect and understand. The clan would protect Krang in exchange for more ooze. But Shredder had it all wrong. Krang wasn't planning on conquering humanity. He was planning on killing them all, starting with the Shredder. Krang thought Shredder dead, but it was all a deceit and a battle ensued. Both forces fought each other, and Shredder's contingency plans, bludgeoning Koya, came in for a surprise attack. Krang and Shredder were about to kill each other when Koya rescued her master just before the boat sank. This meant war was official between them, and Krang doubled down on the construction of the Technodrome, moving the timeline from years to weeks. Despite their intel, Splinter still considered Shredder a more significant threat to his family, and deprioritized taking down Krang and his Technodrome. This created dissent in the Hamato clan, with Donatello completely focused on taking down Krang. With the Technodrome operational and about to start terraforming Earth, Donatello decided to take a chance at using Metalhead to strike a deal with the Foot Clan to invade Burnow Island and put an end to Krang. The Foot Clan would bring numbers to the battle, while Donatello would be able to deploy them, thanks to the teleporter. Just as the Mutanimals were ready for action, Splinter told old Hob that the Turtles wouldn't join them in the battle against the Foot Clan. And he finally agreed to attack the Technodrome first, because of the plan that the Turtles came up with. They would put the clan against Krang, eliminating one of their enemies in the battle. And at the same time, Splinter and the Mutanimals would attack the Foot Clan members that were left defending their operations. At the Technodrome, the Fugitoid warned Krang that Shredder was on his way. This put Krang on alert and ready to defend the island. But then Baxter Stockman betrayed Fugitoid by telling Krang that Fugitoid was only telling him half of the story, and the Turtles were also on their way. He gave away this information in exchange for a non-terraformed sanctuary in New Ultramanon, to which Krang agreed. It is important to remark that the terraforming would change the atmosphere on Earth to be compatible with the Utroms, but it would mean death to humans. After learning the truth, Krang incarcerated both and backed away from his promise to Baxter. At Harold's lab, Donatello told his brothers that he would stay behind to deal with all the technical stuff. His brothers didn't have enough time to deal with this, so they agreed and departed for the island. Donatello didn't tell them that Shredder would leave him supervised by Bebop and Rocksteady. If Shredder found out about any treachery on their part, he would order them to kill Donnie. At Burnow Island, the battle began, and the Turtles went into the Technodrome to reunite with Fugitoid and put an end to the War Machine. Shredder and Krang started fighting, but Krang quickly broke the news to the Shredder that he had been betrayed. Meanwhile, Splinter and the Mutanimals attacked the Foot Clan headquarters in the city. But as soon as Old Hob had his hands on some ooze, the Mutanimals abandoned Splinter, who was fighting Karai and the rest of the Foot Clan. Back at Burnow Island, the Turtles found out that Baxter Stockman took over the place with his army of Flyborgs, keeping Fugitoid hostage with his Mousers. News of Baxter's takeover reached Krang, who immediately left the battlefield and an almost defeated Shredder. Baxter's plan was to install some malware in the Technodrome. Unfortunately, taking over the machine would take a full minute, resulting in the loss of many human lives. Krang stopped Baxter's plan and started terraforming Earth. After seeing the Technodrome firing up, Shredder ordered Bebop and Rocksteady to kill Donatello. The Turtles released Fugitoid and started attacking Krang, giving the Professor time to turn the Technodrome off. Baxter used the Flyborgs to escape the island and took the Shredder with him. In the city, Splinter, backed by Nobody and Alapex, tried to convince Karai that his fight wasn't with her. Karai seemed doubtful and decided to make a strategic retreat. Their victory didn't last long, as Harold urged them to return to the lab. At the Technodrome, the Turtles finally destroyed Krang's android body, and Fugitoid took the Technodrome offline. Unfortunately, Burnow Island was successfully terraformed and was now no longer fit for humans. Fugitoid transported the Turtles back to New York and then asked the Neutrinos to pick him and Krang up. This would continue in the trial of Krang, which is a story for another video. When the Turtles returned to the lab, they were shocked to see Splinter holding a lifeless Donatello in his hands. There was only one thing left in their minds: vengeance.